In this class, let us study the effect of stress concentration. We will see what we mean by stress concentration, the effect of stress concentration, how to reduce the effect of stress concentration on a given member. Of course, the type of load we are going to put on the member will be a static load, that is load of constant magnitude. We know how to calculate the stresses developed due to different types of loads. Basically, while designing, generally we come across the three types of loads acting on a member. One is the axial load, and the second one is the bending load, and third one is torsional or twisting moment, whatever you call. They may be acting the member is subjected to a single load or combination of these loads. And we have studied the basic equations to calculate the stress. If there is an axial load, then we calculate axial stress by using the formula P by Q. Similarly, if it is a bending load or due to the action of bending moment, a bending stress is produced, and formula to calculate bending stress is My by I. Next. The third type of moment is torsional moment or twisting moment, and the torsional shear stress is given by P into R by Z. These three stresses, axial stress, bending stress, and torsional stress, shear stress, torsional shear stress. Right? And the formula we are using P by A, My by I, and T into R by J are called as the basic stress equations. The basic stress equations. Right. While deriving these basic equations, the fundamental assumption we made is the material is homogeneous and isotropic. Material is homogeneous and isotropic. That is, the cross section is uniform throughout. The cross section is uniform throughout. Only in such cases where you have uniform cross section, then only we can use these basic equations, P by A, or bending stress My by I, or torsional stress T into R by J. But in practical situations, if you observe a mechanical element, machine element, say a screw. A screw consists of threads. You might have seen it has some head and then threads over it. So there is some varying cross section. Similarly, there may be some holes or notches or fillet at the junction connecting two different cross sections. So in such cases, these are all called as discontinuities. A hole or a notch or a fillet, right, or varying cross section, these are all called as discontinuities. In such a case, if a member has any discontinuity, then we should not use the basic stress equation. So in such a case, the basic stress equations are to be modified. Now, in this class, we are going to learn those concepts. What is the effect if we have a discontinuity in any member? So earlier, if there is no discontinuity, what happens? The stress is uniform throughout. That is the basic assumption also. The stress, wherever you calculate the stress, magnitude is same, P by A, right? But let us talk about axial load only, right? So if a member is subjected to axial load, and if there is no discontinuity, like a hole, notch, or fillet like that. In such a case, the formula is P by A, and the magnitude remains constant throughout its cross section. So wherever you take, value will be P by A only. Stress value will be P by A. Right? Now, what happens if you have a hole in a given member subjected to axial load? So as I told you, in this class, we are going to talk only about a member subjected to a load, static load, right? And subjected to some discontinuity in the member. Right? Since the axial load is easy, let us take an axial load, right? Constant in magnitude, and there is some hole in the given cross section. What happens? Let us see the effect of the hole on the stress. That is what we are going to learn in this class. Okay, so I will share PPT. So let us see. Now let us move into the concept of stress concentration. Let us slowly moving it. These are already discussed. These are the fundamental equations: P by A, M by A, and M into J by A. Basic assumption: there is no discontinuity in the cross section. Right. Now let us see what happens. So now we have some cross section is given, a rectangular cross section. In that you have a hole of some diameter, some diameter. So here the stress is not constant throughout. You have a discontinuity, and the stress is not constant. If you observe here, what happens at the hole? You know that stress is P by A. Here at the hole, what is happening? The area is getting reduced. Cross-sectional area gets reduced. So whenever we have a minimum cross-sectional area, naturally stress will be more at that junction. Okay. So if you see here at the end, you have one type of stress. At the hole, we have maximum stress since the area is getting reduced. So what's happening? The stress is changing from point to point if you have a discontinuity in the member. And the stress becomes maximum. At the discontinuity. Okay. Right. So that means high stress is concentrated at any discontinuity. That is called as stress concentration. So how do you define stress concentration? Localization of high stresses. Around the discontinuity. localization of high stresses around the discontinuity is defined as stress concentration. Is defined as stress concentration. Localization of high stresses around discontinuity is defined as stress concentration. So whenever you have a discontinuity, naturally the stress will be maximum at any. You have 2-3 discontinuities. At one part you have hole, at another you have notch, and you have a fillet, like that in a given member. Then out of these given discontinuities, at one point, at one discontinuity, the stress will be maximum. Right? That we need to calculate, and let us see how to calculate those stress step by step. Okay. So what you have learned now? So whenever you have a discontinuity, what is a discontinuity? It may be a hole, it may be a notch, it may be a fillet, right? Like that. So the stress is not constant throughout or not uniform throughout. It varies from section to section, and the stress becomes maximum at the discontinuity. Maximum at the discontinuity. So that localization of high stresses, naturally high stress will be localized around the discontinuity. That localization of high stresses around the discontinuity is defined as stress concentration. Is defined as stress concentration. Right. Now you have seen the definition. So here you see how the stress concentration gets distributed around the hole. Here it becomes maximum. Here it becomes maximum at the hole because the area gets reduced. Right? So there will be a sudden rise in the vicinity of the hole. The localized stress in the neighborhood of the hole are far greater than the stresses obtained by the elementary equations. So that elementary equation P by A, without, we can't get the stress at the discontinuity. We need to modify that basic stress equation. Okay. P by A is not valid at the discontinuity. Right. So this is the definition: stress concentration, localization of high stresses due to irregularities present in the component and abrupt changes of cross section. Irregularities or some change in cross section. Now, how do you consider the effect of stress concentration? It is nothing but we take a factor called as stress concentration factor. Stress concentration factor. It is also called as theoretical stress concentration factor. It is also called as theoretical stress concentration factor. Again, and again, I again tell you that the load here we are discussing is a static load, right? And the stress concentration factor that is taken will be called as theoretical stress concentration factor. So effect of considering stress concentration is nothing but considering theoretical stress concentration factor. Right. Now let us see how do you define a theoretical stress concentration factor. Theoretical stress concentration factor, right? It is represented by Kt, K suffix T, right? Maximum stress to nominal stress. It is nothing but defined as maximum stress to nominal stress. Maximum stress to nominal stress. Maximum stress, you know that, occur at discontinuity. So highest value of actual stress near discontinuity divided by nominal stress. Divided by nominal stress. Okay, right. Nominal stress is nothing but the stress you are calculating using basic equation, either P by A or My by I or T into R by J. Those stresses are called as nominal stresses. Nominal stresses. Right. So theoretical stress concentration factor is defined as the ratio between the maximum stress or the stress at the discontinuity to the nominal stress. Nominal stress is nothing but stress obtained by using basic equations. Right. So we represent Kt by sigma max by sigma naught. Sigma naught is nothing but nominal stress. Basic stress obtained by using basic equations. Right. Similarly, tau max, it is a shear stress, tau max by tau naught. It is a shear stress means it is nothing but tau max by tau naught. Okay. Right. So sigma naught and tau naught are called as nominal stresses. These nominal stresses, okay, are calculated using the basic equations. So from this, you get a formula. You see, how do you get maximum stress? Maximum stress is nothing but multiplying nominal stress with theoretical stress concentration factor. Theoretical stress concentration factor. So sigma max is equal to Kt into sigma naught. Kt into sigma naught. So considering the effect of stress concentration factor is nothing but multiplying the nominal stress by Kt, theoretical stress concentration factor, multiplying the nominal stress by theoretical stress concentration factor, Kt, and finding maximum stress at the discontinuity. So sigma max is nothing but Kt into sigma naught. That is the formula we use. Kt is theoretical stress concentration factor, and depending upon the type of load and type of discontinuity, right? There are some charts given in your data book. Referring to that data book, you are going to get the value of Kt. The theoretical stress concentration factor Kt is obtained from graphs that are there in the data book. Okay. So there may be an axial load, there may be a bending load, there may be a torsional load, that is the load. Coming to cross section, there may be a hole, there may be a notch, there may be a fillet like that. So you have to look at those conditions and take the suitable graph that is available in your data book, and from that get the value of Kt. Get the value of Kt. Okay. So once you get Kt from the graph, multiply that Kt with nominal stress or basic stress equation. So you get maximum stress. That is the procedure. Okay. And the magnitude of stress concentration factor depends upon the geometry. Depends upon the geometry of the component. So by this time, you might get some idea what are the causes of stress concentration. Let us see in brief causes of stress concentration. One is variation in properties of the materials. Okay. Internal cracks, blowholes, check cavities in welds, air holes in components, steel components, and non-metallic or foreign inclinations. These variations act as discontinuities in the component, and they cause stress concentration. Okay, right. Load application. Right? Machine components are subjected to forces that are discussed. These forces act either at a point or over a small area that you know. Since the area is small, the pressure at these points will be excessive naturally. That results in stress concentration. That I have told you in the other way. The cross-section area is getting reduced. You need to consider the stress will be maximum. There you have the effect of stress concentration. The examples of load up cases: contact between machine teeth of driving and driven gear, contact between cam and follower at the contact surface. Okay. Contact between balls and races, contact between rail and wheel, crane hook and chain, like that. These are some creations. Abrupt change in cross section, right? So if you have a gear, sprocket, pulleys, ball bearings, transmission shafts, steps cut on a shaft, or shoulders. These are some changes in cross section which you come across along almost all the mechanical components, all the machine elements. The cross section is not uniform. There may be some change in its cross section or some abrupt change in cross section. Cross section dimension gets changed from one section to other section. Similarly, there may be discontinuities in the component that we have already seen: oil holes, oil grooves, keyways, splines, screw threads. These are all examples of discontinuities. There is a stress concentration in the vicinity of these discontinuities. Similarly, if there are any some scratches also, there will be some change in cross section naturally. So machining scratches, stamp marks, or inspection marks are also surface irregularities. There are surface irregularities which also cause stress concentration. It also cause the stress concentration. So these are some formulas which you come across. Right? This is stress concentration due to holes. You see here at the hole, you get maximum stress concentration. This you get in data book. This is the stress due to a notch providing. Okay. Formula to get is sigma max is sigma 1 into 1 plus 2a by r. A is the length of the notch and r is its radius. Everything you get from the data book, right? Depending upon the dimensions given. So that are seen the effect of stress concentration. The effect of stress concentration is nothing but finding Kt from graphs depending upon the cross section subjected to discontinuity and load. You get Kt from the graph and multiply that Kt with nominal stress. You get the maximum stress at the discontinuity. Sigma max is equal to Kt into sigma naught. Sigma naught is nominal stress. Okay. That is the effect of stress concentration in single line. Considering the effect of stress concentration is nothing but finding Kt, theoretical stress concentration factor. Now, let us see how to reduce the effect of stress concentration. How to reduce the effect of stress concentration. Right. So generally, if we see, if there is some change in cross section, what is that they are doing at that change in cross section? They are not providing any sharp corners. They are connected by means of a fillet. Instead of sharp corners, we are going to provide a fillet. Fillet, what is the function of fillet there? The change in cross section is made gradual by providing a fillet. Sharp corners, if you provide sharp corners at the change in cross section, that it is sharp, and also it's not only sharp, it also there is a chance of the operator getting operator may be injured due to the sharp corners. Okay, that's why generally we avoid sharp corners, and wherever you have some change in cross section, we provide a fillet. We make that change as gradual. Similarly, we provide multiple notches. Instead of single notch, before and after that notch, we provide some small notches so that it becomes gradual, not sudden. Similarly, if we have a hole, we may provide multiple holes. One hole before that and one hole after that. Of course, the design should be safe. Based on that only, we need to design the members. Okay, it's nothing but instead of providing the variation should be gradual, then the stress concentration effect will be reduced. Will be reduced. So let's see, that's what I mentioned here in this slide. Whenever there is change in cross section, such as shoulders, holes, notches, or keyways, right? Stress concentration will result naturally, right? Because there are discontinuities. And one more thing, the stress concentration factor cannot be totally eliminated, but it can only be reduced. Can only be reduced because in any machine component there may be a discontinuity or change in cross section. So that's why stress concentration effect cannot be made totally zero. You can't totally eliminate it, but you can reduce the effect. Okay. And one more thing, the effect, how do you, generally there is one method called as flow analogy method. That is drawing lines. Assume that the flow line, such as the flow line, right? If the flow line is straight, then the stress is constant, uniform. The amount of bending in that flow line, the amount of bending in a flow line represent the effect of stress concentration. Represent the effect of stress concentration. So the amount of flow line, generally the stress concentration is represented by flow analogy method, right? If there is the amount of bending in that flow line indicates the effect of stress concentration. So what is the effect? There is more or less, that is given by the bending that is there in the flow line. That we shall see in the coming slide. See here. So we are talking about here, there is a change in cross section. If you see here, first A figure is sharp. Suddenly it has decreased. Okay. So these are to be eliminated because stress concentration effect will be more. Here it all falls suddenly, the flow line. Okay. Second one is good. What you have done, you have made a sharp small fillet here. Okay. Right. Next, third one, the sharp corner is slightly modified, right, which is also preferred, providing fillets, right. And here you have provided some notches, okay, making gradual. See the blue lines here. Blue lines here. If you reduce the amount of bending there, the effect of stress concentration will be reduced. So you look at the blue lines, by providing the fillets, right, or providing notches, the bending in the flow line is gradual. The bending in the flow line is gradual. So that means stress concentration effect is minimized. Okay. So if there is no fillet, first point is sudden bending is there. More bending is there in that flow line. More bending indicates there is more stress concentration effect. So as a design engineer, your function is to make the flow lines or change in flow pattern gradual as far as possible. That means making the change in flow line gradual means you are reducing the effect of stress concentration. This is possible by providing some fillet or multiple holes or multiple notches. Okay. Right. This is the other way, right? There are also cylindrical members with shoulders, right? You look at the blue lines, right? If there is a sudden one, there is more amount of bending here in the first one, which is good. Now, if you see the type of load here, bending load, constant magnitude of force. Right? So, B and C are, you have provided some notch here, and here you have provided a fillet and a gradual some curve here, you see here, some hole type, half hole. By providing this, what is happening? The amount of bending in the flow line gets reduced. So the more the line becomes straighter, the less will be the effect of stress concentration. So here also are provided a fillet, a notch. Right? See here you have a hole. So blue line is at the hole, the bending is more suddenly. Bending is more. So in order to reduce that bending, what is happening before that hole? You are before and after that load, you are providing some small holes. Okay. So what's happening? The bending is not sudden. Not sudden, it is gradual. You are making the amount of bending in the flow line gradual. That means you are reducing the effect of stress concentration. You are reducing the effect of stress concentration. How you have reduced here? By providing multiple holes. By providing multiple holes. Okay. So this is also an example where you have threads. Multiple notches are provided. First one, you see the bending is more. By providing fillet here, you have made it gradual. Here is almost straight, you see. So this is also one more example method of reducing stress concentration. So while designing any member, the design engineer has to look at this. So variation, if there is any variation size of the component, we should make it gradual as far as possible. Holes, notches, and other stress risers. These are called as stress risers because if you have a hole, naturally the stress gets increased there. So that's why they are also called as stress risers. Okay. The holes, notches, and other stress risers should be avoided. Fillets and notches should be provided wherever necessary. Parts should be provided from corrosive atmosphere. That you know, it gets corroded naturally. Surface there will be some irregularities there. So naturally that leads to the effect of stress concentration. The material with high fatigue strength should be selected. Right. The residual compressive stress over the part surface increases its fatigue strength. So these are some factors to be considered. Okay. Right. So in this class, right, we have learned about stress concentration. Right, stress concentration is nothing but localization of very high stresses at the discontinuity is defined as stress concentration. Okay, right. How to consider the effect of stress concentration is nothing but finding KT. KT is nothing but theoretical stress concentration factor. Theoretical stress concentration factor. That KT is defined as sigma max by sigma naught. Sigma max by sigma naught. Sigma naught is the nominal stress. The maximum stress is equal to KT into sigma naught. KT into sigma naught. Sigma naught is a nominal stress calculated by using basic stress equations. Basic stress equations. Okay, right. KT you obtain from graph. Right, that from data book you are going to get the value of KT. Okay, right. Next, how to reduce the effect of stress concentration also we have learned by providing some multiple holes, notches, fillets, etc. The effect of stress concentration can be reduced. Can be reduced. Okay. So this is about the stress concentration and the effect of stress concentration on a member. Okay. So with that, we're almost coming to the end of this class. In this class, we have learned what do you mean by stress concentration, and what is the effect of stress concentration, how to reduce the effect of stress concentration when a member is subjected to a discontinuity and a load of constant magnitude. That is what you have learned here. If there is a variable loading, that we shall learn in the coming classes. Okay.